Good day, everybody. Thank you very much for joining this fortnightly mindfulness session. COVID-19 is proving us one thing. That is, the only certain thing in the world is uncertainty. All of us don't like uncertainty because it freaks us out, drops us down, throws us away, since it is taking the stability that we used to enjoy. It is completely destroying the way we have been used to live. When I talk about stability, I'm not talking about physical stability. You can see the physical stability in your own house or even outside. You can see the physical accomplishments, physical advancements, physical achievements anywhere in the world. It even goes to the universe. But what we talk here is about mental stability. Since it is such an important thing in the world today, a lot of people are talking about mental health, and a lot of people are therefore talking about mindfulness. In this program, we not only just talk about mindfulness, we have a very clear and precise way how you can improve mindfulness, and today is the first step. So therefore, we will first try to understand what mindfulness is to go ahead with our strong practice sessions. So mindfulness is, the simple meaning is awareness of the presence. When I said awareness of the presence, my daughter said, it is not meaningful. So I said, yes, it is agreed, because mindfulness is not something that is commonly available in the world. And therefore, when we use the precise terms to explain mindfulness, it may be logical. So if I explain it a bit further, when you talk about presence, you can be present in time, you can be present in space. So in other words, we are living in two dimensions, time dimension and space dimension. Your presence is in both the dimensions. Presence is in time is called now. Presence in the place is called here. And it is not just the presence of anybody and everybody. This is the presence of yourself. So therefore, we can narrow down the meaning of, or simplify further the meaning of mindfulness as awareness of here, now, and. Now we will see the meaning of these four words. The four words are awareness, here, now, and. I'm going to take the first word, which is in my list, although it is not in the same order. I'm going to explain you what now means. It is something that always keeps changing. In the timeline, we have mainly 3 points or 3 areas. One is past, and the other is now or the present, and the other is the future. Those are the simplest forms. So now means neither the past nor the future. This particular point in time, which you can experience and which keeps always getting added onto the past and future becoming now. So the most important thing in now is not imaginary, it is experientiable. Mindfulness, we focus on the experience. So therefore, now is a very important aspect in learning and understanding mindfulness. And the next thing in our definition of mindfulness is here. Once again, it is based on experience. Here, based on the understanding of the particular person we are talking, it may be varying. For some people, when I say here, they will say the country, or they will say the suburb, or they will say the house, or they will say the room, wherever they are. But in strict sense, when you talk about space dimension, what you can experience is your contacts with the Mother Earth. So if you are sleeping, the contact with the Mother Earth, or the cushion or the mattress, or whatever things that you lie on is here. And if you are standing, your contact with the floor or the tiles is here for you. If you are sitting, the contact of your bottom and the leg, right, is here for you. So any posture you are in, your contact with the floor or with the earth, maybe you can ignore if you are wearing, if you are having some footwear, but particular point you are in is here, which you can experience, right? And it is not thinking about the office, or it is not about another country, the place you have gone on holiday, or where your kids are, where your spouse is. That's not here, because all these are imaginary, and it moves away from experience. So to have proper experience, we should not only have now, we must have, you must be here as well. And here and now is available for each and every person. So since we are emphasizing and focusing on the experience, it is not everyone else's here and now. It has to be, for the purpose of mindfulness, your experience. So therefore, the question is, who am I? Normally people say, I am the body, but it is a few more steps more than that. It's not just the body. If the body is I am, even a dead body can be considered as I am. No. For a person, or to define a human being, or to define any animal, there are three main components involved. One is the body, which we call the physical process. Similarly, the mind, which we call more specifically the mental process. And there should have interconnection between the two, intercommunication between the two. And that interaction is also very important when you explain a living being. So therefore, these three components taken together is I am. And it is, although these three components are the main elements in I am, when we take the we live in the world, we have never given any emphasis to our mental process. We have given emphasis only to the physical process, and that is why people are so desperate when the stability is little bit challenged. So if you take the way we live from morning to evening, we are taking care of only our body, and we usually don't take care of our mind. Say for example, you may be sleeping, you may be eating, you may be playing, you may be working, you may be keeping your body clean, and a lot of things will be done. And some people go to the extent of taking health insurance and life insurance, all this to take care of your body only. So therefore, although we have three items in in identifying an animal being or a living being, we have neglected the mental part. We have not given proper emphasis to the mental process. So we will have to now start giving or understand what the mental process is, and why we are so freaked out when the stability is not there, why we feel so dropped down when the stability is not there. So this situation which has given so much emphasis onto our physicality has neglected our mind so much, and therefore our mind always wanders around other times and other places, because when we are living so much engrossed with keeping our body properly, and the mind has not been given proper place. So although the mind has to be with the body, since that proper place is not given, since mind has not been brought to its proper house, it has gone to other places. So it has gone to other time. So therefore the mind is so rusty now, so neglected now. So we will have to therefore um, uh, now at least start to correct such situation. If we don't correct the situation, it will go from bad to worse. So therefore, we will have why we need to understand the mental processes, to understand what mind is to start with, and then to when you really understand the mind, and when you really know that it is something which is compulsory for you to be a complete human being. It is not just the body here. Even your mind has to be with the body. Mind should not be wandering all around the universe. It has to be with the body. And if it is with the body will be able, you will be a complete person. You will be meeting your real self. So therefore, we have got to give proper emphasis to the mental process. And if that happens, if you bring your mind to the body, you will be meeting your best friend. And it becomes, when you meet yourself, you don't want anybody else. You will be really at peace, since both the components that is required for smooth functioning of yourself are in one place. It is not like engine of your car is in the toilet and the rest of the car is in the garage. And that is the way we are working nowadays. That is the way we are functioning nowadays. Our mind is all over the universe, but the body is here. That is like uh, the chassis and the rest of the things in the car in the garage, but engine is somewhere else. So unfortunately, this human machine called human being is working, although the engine is not in the right place, but it is very difficult. It is with so much friction. It is with so much tension and pressure we function, and that is why with the slightest instability we get shaken. So for that reason, we will have to bring the mind to our real home, which is called the body. So with that understanding of what self is, and where we are at the moment, and what we have got to do to bring these three components together, we'll have to understand the significance of awareness in the definition. Definition of mindfulness is awareness of here, now, so we have now understood, we have some idea of what now is, what here is, the meaning of I am. Coming to awareness, before I get on to anything else, awareness is so important because here, now, I am is there 24/7, 365. Unless your awareness is brought to those three terms, those three things, mindfulness will not happen. Mindfulness will not take place. Whether you like it or not, you are here. You are now, and you are you. But you don't know. So what awareness does is, reminds you and brings that attention to here now I am. And when you bring the attention to here now I am, then only you become mindfulness. So it is just the trigger for you to be aware what is going on within you and with you. So awareness means just bare attention. You just observe, or you call it choiceless observation. You only thing you do is you choose to observe, but you don't choose what to observe. Right now, earlier you have not chosen to observe, so although here and now is there, you have not been mindful. Now you are choosing to observe, and when you choose, whatever is there you are observing, you are not selecting what is good or what is bad and what is required and what is not required will not be selected, or you call it simple awareness. And what I usually do is I usually use the word awareness, right? So when you bring this awareness, when you bring this choiceless awareness, or when you bring this bare attention or simple observation, whatever you call it, it should have some quality, it should have some characteristics. The characteristic is whatever is happening within you here now is happening. You are simply observing. It is like you go to the beach when the sun is setting down. You just watch the sun sets down. You don't try to go and set the sun down. It is happening whether you like it or not. You just keep observing. Or my best example is you just become the third umpire. Third umpire is the camera, the video camera that is being placed in any sport nowadays. So that camera, what it simply does is, it simply records irrespective of the results, irrespective of the players, irrespective of the umpires, irrespective of what color, what happens, whether a naked man is running on the pitch, is immaterial for the video. Video is simply recording. Or another example that a lot of teachers use is, you just observe like a spy, or detective rather. A detective is going behind the person and never catches it. Just gather as much information as possible of the person and of what is happening. That's all you have got to do. So that is the awareness. Awareness of here, now, I am. So having understood that, so when you go somewhere, if go to a place where you can enjoy, and suppose to a park, and in the park you sit on a bench and keep on thinking about what has got to be done tomorrow, what has got to be done with the kids and the spouse, and all sorts of things, then it is not mindfulness. You go to the park, sit on the bench, just observe what beautiful nature you have, and be in the present moment. And that is mindfulness to start with, in the most simplest form. Now the question is, although I gave that example as the simplest form, the question is, we have not been doing this for quite a long time, so we have got to train it. Anything that we do in life is usually done with training. So someone might think, oh, when I got my first baby, I never trained. Yes, accept. But after that, that itself becomes a training. So the same way, even here, we will have to start training. So we should know how to get there. So to get there, what we do is, since we have been from morning to the time we go to bed, since we have been with our body, we start with the body. We bring the mind, which is going all around the universe, to our body, and try to have a marriage between the mind and the body, or the physical process and the mental process. And to do that, what we do is we have two techniques. The two techniques are called walking mindfulness and sitting mindfulness. In walking mindfulness, we bring our awareness, here now I am, to the lower part of the body. In sitting mindfulness, we bring our awareness to the upper part of the body. When we bring the awareness to the lower part of the body, there are certain things that you will have to keep in mind. This is how you do it. You select a path which is suitable for walking, and usually when you train, I'm not saying this is impossible or must not be done, but it is recommended to select just one path where you can take about 35 steps. Don't consider evening walk as mindful walking. It can be, but for training purposes, I will not recommend unless that is the last resort you have. So select a path where you can take about 30 to 35 steps, and if you don't have that much space, be happy with whatever you have. And it is ideal for that space to be level, not with a slope. And it is ideal if that space is a straight line rather than a bend or a curve, right? So, but once again, be as pragmatic as possible. If the ideal conditions are not there, you use whatever you have. And the next thing that you should do is you stand at the start of the path, and eyes cast down about a meter ahead of you or to a distance of your height, and hold your hands by the side in front of you, folded, or back folded, and then you start your natural walk. It is the natural walk, I repeat. You should not make any special attempt to be mindful walking, to do mindful walking. You will have to walk naturally and be mindful of the natural walk. And when you walk, it is ideal to be barefooted. Once again, take the circumstances and conditions into account. And if you are in a cold place and if you must have some footwear, use that. And if it is a dry place and easily you can remove your shoes and socks, then be barefooted and start walking. And when you walk, observe any information or gather any information that relates to the whole walking process. You keep your attention to the entire walking process. When you walk, always one leg is moving and one leg is on the floor. So therefore, always the entire body weight is on one leg. So therefore, you have a lot of information in balancing in transferring the weight of your body to one leg. So you have got to be very vigilant, very cautious, very alert to get all this information. So in the walking process, you have lifting of the leg, moving of the leg, lowering down the press, keeping the leg and pressing down, and you have lots and lots of sensation while doing this. Gather all this information as much as possible. And when you try to do that, your walking speed might change. If it naturally changes, that's fine, but don't try to do it purposely. And sometimes it may be difficult to bring your attention straight away to your walking process because we are not used to it. So when you try to observe right foot or left foot may be walking, and it will be devil's workshop when you initially start doing it. So therefore, we use a technique called labeling or noting. In that technique, what we do is we start labeling in our head what we do. Say, for example, when we move the right foot, we label right, 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 right until you keep the right foot. And then left leg, left, 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 left until you lift, move, and place the left leg. Right? So like that, you keep on labeling those things in your head so that your mind will not wander to the other things. Mind will be only with what you are supposed to do, what you are trying to be mindful of, right? So when you keep on doing that for some time, you may feel now your mind is fairly settled with your leg movement, and then you can stop. If you are confident enough, you can stop labeling and you can just keep on observing the movements of the legs, right? So when you keep on observing the movements of the leg, you will be able to observe many things, many sensations, especially when you place the leg on the floor, what sort of sensations you have and how do you place the leg, what sensations you have when you lift the leg and all that. So just in that manner, you focus your attention onto lower part of the body, and most important thing is, I repeat, gather as much information as possible. There may have disturbances when you do these things. You may have some sights, right? So your attention may go to that. You may have some sounds. You may get thoughts, and you may start having aches and pains here and there. So these are the distractions for being mindful of the walking process. Doesn't matter. Let those distractions be there. Even with the distractions, you try to see whether you are able to keep your attention to the lower part of your body, to the movement of the leg, to the sole of your foot, so that you will be with the walk even when the disturbance is there. So the disturbances are there, you're not trying to fight with the disturbance. Even through that, you are trying to be mindful of your walking process. But if that is not possible, there may have instances where the disturbance is so overwhelming and you are not able to you are not able to have your attention to the walking at all. So if that happens, what you will have to do is just accept the disturbance as it is, without fighting for it, without looking for the movement of the leg. You are overwhelmed. Your here now I am has become that particular disturbance, which is the sight or the sound or the thought or the ache and pain. Just accept that as it is, and then keep walking. So if it is a sight, you can say seeing seen, and you keep walking. You're walking, but attention is there, and you just label that as seeing. And if it is a thought, you label that as thought occurring. You just keep walking. Or if it is a sound, you can label that as hearing, because you're not intentionally listening to it. So it just happens. So therefore, you use the word hearing. And similarly, when you have aches and pains, it's a feeling. So you label it as feeling and keep walking. And gather any information relating to that as well. And then see whether your attention comes back to walking. If it comes back to walking, just keep observing the walking process once again. So that way you will be able to practice. It will not happen overnight. It will not happen in 1 week. It will not happen in a fortnight, not a month. It may take some time. So you have got to be very patient. You have got to have a timetable and work very patiently. So similarly, the other technique to bring your attention to the body is the sitting mindfulness, where you bring the attention to the upper part of the body. In here, you will sit comfortably, cross-legged if possible. in the lotus posture, if possible, having both the soles of the feet upward, crossed. But if it is not possible, take any comfortable posture. And the important thing is to have your spinal upright and the neck erect and a relaxed body, and your hands on your lap, right hand on the left on your lap. So eyes gently shut, and then you bring your attention to the body. When you bring your attention to the body, it is very important. Most of us do this mistake. You close your eyes, but you keep rolling your eyes to see things. You should not do that. Bringing attention to the body means you just let the body be there and let the body tell you what it has for you. Let it talk, right? And it will, many things are happening naturally within the body. So your attention will go to some sort of sensations or some sort of feeling or something that is happening in your body. And that is the attention. Knowing what the body tells is the attention in this case. Not that you roll your eyes to see something in the body. So to bring the attention to the body, we have a technique called body scanning. We do that when we do our practice in my guided mindful sitting, which is a scanning from crown of the head to the tip of the toes, which gives you or takes your attention fairly to the body. And once it happens, once that scanning is done, you once again bring your attention to the relaxed sitting posture, and where you will be able to observe whatever movements in the body. Usually what moves in the body is the respiration. If you take it point of view of the mind wants to ensure when your eyes are closed and when you are not moving that you are not dead. For that reason, its attention usually goes to the respiration. So if it goes to the respiration, you just understand where you feel the respiration. Whether you feel the respiration at the tip of the nose, or whether you feel it in the chest, whether you feel it in the tummy. Whatever place, no problem. It may be any other place as well, not just the three places I mentioned. There will have one place that is most prominent for you. You pick that place and have your attention there. Once again, not rolling your eyes, but just your awareness of that particular sensation that you feel. And keep observing that place and in breath and out breath. What happens to in breath? What happens to that place when you breathe in? And what happens to out breath? What happens to that place when you breathe out? Gather any sensation when breathing in is happening, breathing out is happening. And over a period of time, when you keep on observing, try to see what sort of changes are taking place in your breathing pattern. And those things are not happening immediately straight away on the first day. When you keep on practicing, you may be able to observe it and see it when you advance or when your practice is getting developed. And similarly, again, another thing that you may be able to focus is how this in-breath starts, how it progresses, how it slowly reduces and then stops, and then what happens, how the out-breath starts, how it gradually progresses and then stops, and then what happens. Like that, it's happening in a cyclical manner. You just sit in your seat, sit in the balcony, and watch the movie that the body is showing you. Don't get involved with it. Breath is, your respiration is natural. It is happening. You will have to simply observe, and higher the quality of observation, better will be your experience, better will be the informations that you are able to provide. most important thing is gathering and collecting those information and discussing them um, during the discussion time is the most important thing. And the other thing I want to mention here is that the disturbances. There will have disturbances. Now you have one less disturbance because your eyes are closed and you don't have sight. Again, it's the same technique. Even when there are disturbances, you try to see through the disturbances. But if the disturbances are overwhelming again, you don't fight with them, you don't reject them, you don't ask for them, you don't love them, you don't try to hug them. Just let them be there and accept as it is if they are overwhelming only, right? If they become the most prominent thing. If they become here, now I am. Otherwise, you will even through them, you try to observe your posture or the in-breath and the out-breath. So that manner, you keep on observing and progress in the path. Before I conclude, to progress in the path, the most important thing is you must do this on a daily basis. That's number one. And I realize that some of you may not be able to do it on a daily basis. So in that case, try to make it as regular as possible, right? And it is ideal if you can do it at least 1 hour walking, 1 hour sitting on a daily basis. But if you can't take 1 hour, take whatever time possible. Do equal amount of walking, equal amount of sitting. For most people, mindfulness is just sitting. For us, for practical mindfulness, sitting alone won't do. I mean, it is very useful, but we talk about practical mindfulness. Practical mindfulness means you should be able to apply this in the day-to-day activities, in your normal life. It has to be a way of life. For it to become way of life, you can't keep your eyes closed all the time. You can't keep your legs crossed all the time. You can't have your hands on the lap all the time. Although it gives a deep understanding of mindfulness, that is not possible. You should be able to do things when you do other things as well. You should be able to be mindful when you do other things as well. So for that reason, we highly recommend to do walking mindfulness, because that brings the bridge between sitting mindfulness and daily routines. So have equal amount of mindful walking, equal amount of mindful sitting. If you have only 1 hour to practice on a daily basis, half an hour walking, half an hour sitting, right? So if you are really a newcomer, just start with 10 minutes. Just start with 10 minutes walking, 10 minutes sitting, and gradually increase. Every month, you increase 5 minutes, not much. I'm sure I started with 5 minutes, and one day I was sitting for 15 minutes. I didn't know, right? So that is the day that I decided this is something very much possible. And if you really interested, and if you have the willpower to do it, right? So sitting now 1 hour, 1.5 hours is not a big deal. So have therefore that daily practice, and try to increase it to 1 hour. They become the keys to the progress. And the other most important thing is you discuss your practice with someone who has practiced before and who has some experience. Don't talk with this everybody. And because a lot of people are not interested in mindfulness, so therefore it is very important to talk with someone who has the practice. So this is the reason why we have a discussion session in our fortnightly sessions, right? So with that, I will give you a brief understanding of how our fortnightly sessions work. after listening to this talk, you may have understood 2% of it. That is more than enough, right? And if you want, you can just let us know. We will be able to send you the link so that you will be able to listen to this once again or whenever you want, and deepen your understanding of mindfulness, and that may help your practice as well. So we next time what we will do is, in the regular practice, when you come, we will have half an hour walking, half an hour sitting, and after that we will be having half an hour talk and half an hour for question and answer session. So if things improve, we may increase time a little bit, so that you will be able to get more knowledge and more time for practice and more time to ask questions as well. So with that, I would like to sum up my talk. Thank you very much for listening, and be happy all the time.
Thank you so much. And the other thing I want to add is, now you can go for 10 minutes walk and 10 minutes sitting. And after that, we will be starting the talk and the discussion. You can join the talk and the discussion after 10 minutes walking and 10 minutes sitting. Thank you so much again. You can raise any questions that you have regarding the instructions and the explanation given during the discussion session. Thank you so much.